And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and it is Saturday. And you know what that means? It's time for all the toy news, action figure news of the week that interested me, that hopefully interests you, and an interesting week this week. Not a ton of news, a page full, and we'll dive through it all, of course, in this very video, but a little bit slow, maybe a little New York Comic-Con, New York Toy Fair, more like it. Hangover going on? I guess so. But we'll dive into all that news, but of course, first, we got to do some housekeeping, and this week's version of the toy news brought to you by jaystoysandgames.com. Use discount code Kyle. Save yourself 15% on all in-stock items. Yes, 15%. Got to get a deal out there. And I bought a ton of stuff from them this week that you'll see tomorrow in weekly purchases. But they got a lot of new stuff, some new arrivals there. And once again, 15% savings. Got to get a deal all day. Deals all the time over there at Jay's Toys and Games. And more Jay's here in a second, part of a giveaway. So we'll talk about that here in a second. But we got to do some more housekeeping here. Of course, Patreon, it is the month of March. Patreon, the best way to support the channel. Early access to everything over there from both YouTube channels, glamour shots, pizza reviews, dog stuff, you name it, a monthly Q&A. We got all kinds of stuff over there on the Patreon. Appreciate all the support. In this month's giveaway, it's a man called Sting. Supreme Edition Sting is the giveaway for the month of March. So head over there if you want to be a part of that giveaway. But speaking of giveaways and speaking of anniversaries, it is the 5-year anniversary of this channel. And at the end of this month, we are going to do a special video. All kinds of announcements, all kinds of fun stuff. Some things that'll shock you, I'm sure. Some special guests, you name it. But also some giveaways as we celebrate 5 years of this YouTube channel. Now, if we hit 50,000 subscribers by then, and let's be honest, it's looking pretty rough. It's looking pretty rough. I'm a realist out there. Got about 500 subscribers to go to hit 50,000. Can we do that in the next week and a half or so? I don't know. You guys and gals tell me. I guess subscribe if you have not already. But if we do hit 50,000, I'm going to do 5 giveaways around that. But we got to do it in the next week and a half. That might be pretty tough to do. But if we do not hit, that's okay. We'll hit it eventually. Probably a couple days after is probably how it'll go. But I do have some giveaways. I'm thinking and I'm leaning towards giving away that ultimate Raw ring with Rhea Ripley. So that's a heck of a giveaway. So that might be our giveaway we're going to do. Stay tuned for that, of course. But I got another giveaway via our friends at Jay's Toys and Games that'll be a part of that. And I guess stay tuned to my social media, SirPaul64 on the X, the _Kyle_ Peterson over there on Threads and Instagram, and of course on YouTube. Stay tuned to that. How to enter for these giveaways as well. But Jay's did give me this as I was in their store today, and they said, hey, we want to be a part of a giveaway. We want to do a giveaway part of the 5-year anniversary. And they give me this skeleton pack. Of course, the Graveyard Skeleton Mythic Legions 4-pack, hot off the truck. They have a few of these left. I think they had 2 cases left when I was there. Order it up, save 15%. Got to get a deal, of course. But we will be giving this away via Jay's Toys and Games for hooking us up here, sponsoring the channel. So shout out to them. Very cool. So we're going to have a giveaway there as well. So stay tuned, like I said, to the socials, everything else for the future giveaways. And if you do want to sponsor the weekly purchases, toy news, or something else, reach out to me on my social medias as well if you want to support the channel. But let's dive into some news. How about we dive into grapplers and gimmicks? Nothing really from Mattel or Jazzwares this week as far as wrestling. It's all the third-party companies this week. But we'll go over to grapplers and gimmicks. Always having some kind of news every week, but a little bit slower, a little doldrums right now. But we got 2 that will bookend on this one here. But we did see an updated, or we saw for the first time, I guess, the Regium. You know what I'm talking about. It is Ahmed Johnson. It is going to be their more elite scale, but boy, it looks like this might have some ultimate scale to it as well. Very excited for this Ahmed Johnson. Can't wait to see where this one ends up going. Very, very cool. It'll also be very interesting to see what the price point on this one is. I do guess, and I do feel it'll be cheaper than the next one we're going to talk about here. King Kong Bundy, and once again, the Elite Ultimate Scale coming from Zombie Sailor Toys. We've heard about this for a couple years now, and it sounds like it's finally going up for pre-order on the 27th of March. So be ready for that. And apparently some others will be up at the same time. Going to be very interested to see where this goes. It'll be very interested to see what price point they come up with this King Kong Bundy. I am very hopeful it's $50 or under. I think they're going to lose a lot of people. And you know what they say? A wise man once said, Todd McFarlane, you lose a customer a loaf at a time, you get them back a slice at a time. I don't know who that wise man was. Oh, it was me? Oh, yeah, it was. But it'll be interesting to see if Zombie tries to sell these over $50. I just don't know. We'll see what ends up happening there. But they do look really good. I would love to see a $39.99 price point. I think that would be fair for that. After that, it gets a little dicey. I'm interested to check it out. I'm interested to give it a test drive for sure. So either way, I'm picking one of these up. Can't wait to see what this King Kong Bundy retails for and see how it is in hand. And that's the ultimate one. And it looks a little interesting. There's something off about it. I think it's the head and neck. I'm just hoping in person does better justice for it. So we'll be on the lookout for that one here in the next couple of weeks. Be interested to hear what your guess is on the price point. Stick it in the comments down below. Same thing for the Ahmed Johnson. What do you think that price point will be? I kind of feel like that Ahmed Johnson, let's say, I'm going to guess between $35 and $39.99 for the Ahmed, and I'm going to guess between $40 and $50 for the King Kong Bundy. I might be over, I might be low. We'll see what ends up happening, but I'd be interested to hear your guess on that. But Zombie Sailor wasn't done. He did show off some images of an upcoming Masato Tanaka figure, an all-timer if there ever was one. I love Tanaka back in the day. Very excited to get this one from Heels and Faces. So that one looks pretty cool as well. Moving on to some other retro companies. Looks like Top Rope Collectibles coming out with more Galoob style figures. We knew that was coming, but they showed off 3 different variants of one diamond stud. Of course, Scott Hall, Razor Ramon in a former life is what that is. Definitely works for this. There was a prototype. They were going to make this once upon a time. Of course, he was in WCW at the time. This makes a lot of sense and it checks a lot of boxes. But that being said, I don't know how they have access to Scott Hall. Has his Legends deal expired? Is he going to be the next guy to work the circuit from Grapplers and Gimmicks, Zombie Sailor, and all of that? Or are they doing something under the table? Or is there something like, oh, it's Diamond Stud, they don't own that, we do? I don't know the legalities of it all. Todd, do you? You know who could help us, though? We got a lawyer.
Hi, I'm attorney at law Zach Wild, and I'm here to fight for you.
Yeah, you're right, Todd. He doesn't act in a lot of action figure lawsuits like that, though, so I don't know what's going to happen. So I'm very interested to see where this Diamond Stud goes. I did order the PN News, still waiting for that. I hope I get the PN News before this comes. I'm pretty sure I will. But I'll definitely order at least one of these Diamond Studs is probably the plan for me. But variant A, B, or C, I'm probably going to go A. That's what I did with PN News as well. So we'll see where that goes. But we're not done. More retro companies. Of course, Nerd Closet, Matt Maniac's tag team line, I guess we'll call it. We unboxed the Legion of Doom. We unboxed the Steiners. Well, we knew Demolition is coming. We now know they're coming to WrestleCon later this year as a WrestleCon exclusive. Of course, Demolition signing that Legends deal. They got to get moving on that and grooving right away to get that out so they don't have any legal problems anywhere along the way with that. But we'll see those. I guess Matt Maniac's Demolition will probably be the next ones we get in hand. We'll see what happens. We also know the Hardy Boys, Matt Cardona, Brian Myers, and the Powers of Pain are on the agenda for them as well. So a lot of stuff coming up. Very good figures, way better than I anticipated. That's always a good day at the office as well. Moving over to KWK, always turning and burning stuff. Very interesting times for the KWK brand. Very cheap retros, making retros affordable. Going to be interesting what ripple effect that has on the Zombie Sailor, the Matt Maniacs, the Heels and Faces, and things like that. We do know about the Max Moons being up for pre-order right now. He did show off prototypes of the brand new TJ Perkins, multiple versions. Same thing with Taka Michinoku's. He did put the asterisk in there. These are just prototypes. The eyes and hair will be fixed. So I saw some people kind of dogging the figures online. They didn't read all the fine print that, hey, these are prototypes. The eyes and hair are going to be fixed. So take note of that as well. Those ones coming soon. I'm not a jumper guy at all, but Taka Michinoku makes the most sense of anybody being a jumper. He would have been a jumper in the Hasbro days, no doubt about it. Looking very cool right there. Can't wait to see those in hand as well. And we started with Grapplers and Gimmicks. We're ending with Grapplers and Gimmicks. Jake the Snake, the Roberts coming times 4. 4 different retro Jake Roberts coming from Grapplers and Gimmicks. Once again, where's the legality lie on that one there? Apparently, Jake Roberts has some kind of a fancy deal just like Billy Gunn. And I think I saw an interview with Jake recently that said, hey, WWE was fine with him doing stuff outside. So they had that kind of agreement. That's how he's getting, Mattel figures and, of course, on AEW TV doing things like that. very interesting time. And apparently, maybe he feels he can go out and get figures from the grapplers and gimmicks of the world. So we'll see what ends up happening. Very cool, though. The one in black is my all-time favorite Jake the Snake Roberts attire. Can't wait to get that one, but they all look really good. I like that we got the different snakes. A lot of fun stuff about that grapplers and gimmicks. So we'll see what ends up happening on that one here very soon as well. So a lot of new retro news this week on the channel to talk about, but we're not done. Of course, this week, Walmart Con, and I don't know about you guys, Thursday, Friday, there was pre-orders both days. I spent like $800, I think, on Walmart Con. We'll see if they all ship. We'll see if I find most of these in the store before they ship. We'll see what happens. But I had an easy time breezing through. On Friday, I was in a meeting. I got out of my meeting 10 minutes late. It went long. Oh, long meeting. What are we doing on a Friday? I did get in at 9:10. I ordered everything. Nothing was sold out, so seemed to go pretty well. I did have quite the fiasco with the John Moxley Supreme this week. I saw it was in stock. I ordered it. It said it was March 12th at like 7 a.m. I ordered it, and it said, hey, it'll show up at your door by 10 a.m. that day. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. Well, didn't come that day, didn't come the next day. So then I did the chat on the Walmart feature. I said, hey, this was supposed to come on the 12th. It still shows showing up on the 12th. That has not happened. And the AI chat robot said, we're sorry about this. Here's a $10 gift card, and it'll be here within 3 to 10 days. And it still currently shows arriving on the 12th. We'll see where that goes. But I got a free gift card out of it, so I guess all was not lost. I didn't need it immediately, so no big deal. And I'll take a free $10. I'm going to put that towards some dog food. That's what I'm going to do. So shout out to Walmart for giving me a free $10 for just complaining to their AI chat. So it is what it is, but went very well, the Walmart Con. I don't know if anybody had any trouble. Let me know in the comments if you did. Moving over to a few things. One thing that was part of the Walmart Con that I forgot to talk about last week. Now, we covered everything else pretty much last week, but this one we forgot. Masterverse Faker. So now it's very interesting in this Masterverse style line. You got New Eternia, you got Revelation, you got Revolution figures, and now we got Vintage Collection figures. So 4 lines within a line. A little bit much, I think. And I'm not totally sold on this vintage collection they're doing. It's basically just a way to get more fakers and re-release everybody with just a little bit of tweaks. And personally, for me right now, New Eternia is my favorite one. Even the vintage collection figures, they've been fun enough so far. They don't overtake, of course, New Eternia for me. There's something cool about those figures. We'll see where that ends up going, but I forgot to mention Faker last week. Speaking of something that came, I guess not out of left field, I think we knew this was coming. I feel like we talked about this like 8 months ago, and this is what stopped me from buying the original one. It is the Mondo Creatures of the Black Lagoon. Creature of the Black Lagoon. Of course, you know I'm a monsters guy, especially Universal Monsters. Creature being my all-time favorite. At first, I said I wasn't going to get this, but the more time that goes by, I'm like, you know what? I should probably get this guy. Looking very, very cool, and I love it has a tribute to the Aurora monster model back in the day with a little platform. There's just a lot to like about this one, and I'm trying to back my Mondo buying down because I've had quality issues. Yes, I know they fix them all. I get it, but I've had a lot of quality issues, and they're pricey. So something's got to give somewhere along the line, and I'm dialing back a lot of that Mondo lately, but I feel like I need to get this creature. I just feel like it's a must-have for me. It's a dangerous road, though. What if they make Wolfman, Dracula, Frankenstein? I don't know. I don't know what I'll do. My dad might have to step in at that point there. Maybe he'll buy them. I don't know. But very expensive, but I feel like I will have to get this creature from the Black Lagoon. So stay tuned on that in the future as well. But it is a timed exclusive going right now. So if you want it, you better jump in. Or you can go to the J's, Entertainment Earths of the world, and pick one up down the line with less features, of course. That's usually how it does work there. But that's it for all the regular toy news. Now, Todd, I got to turn my attention over to you. Todd McFarlane from the couch. Of course, Todd, it's been a rough couple of weeks, has it not? I know, but I keep saying Todd's coming out swinging, guys. He's got Turtles coming. He's got a few other things up his sleeve, and you know he's working on getting 2 new toy lines. I truly think he'll come out with a WWE statue license. I think he's going to try everything he can do to fill that hole of the DC universe. But it's a big hole. I can put my fist up that hole, I think. Maybe I'll try it later. Maybe we'll both try. We'll see what happens there. But Todd, you can't say the DC's done, though, because think about it. He has till, I think, fall of 2026, basically. I would say through 2026, you'll still see stuff on the store pegs, still shipping out from warehouses and stuff. So he still has over a year. Let's almost call it 2 years at this point for McFarlane. And I know Todd, I know you're a businessman. You're a businessman who doesn't like to wear pants, doesn't like to wear socks and shoes. I get it. It's your thing. It's like my Western thing. It's just, we each have our own thing. I get it. But I have a feeling Todd is going to start re-releasing stuff like a Madman. You're going to see new stuff. He's going to milk everything you can out of that mold. And why wouldn't you? He's a businessman at the end of the day. day, but I can easily see a lot of classic DC McFarlane figures over the last couple of years that were very hard to get. Let's say the Question, for instance. A lot of people didn't find that Question. I bet you anything, all this stuff's going to get re-released. He's getting more line time. He's going to milk it. He's going to send out the old Wonder Woman that people were missing out on. There's going to be a lot of those figures re-released, plus a lot of new stuff to get every single dollar he can. Business 101. So get your wallets ready if you're a McFarlane fan. Will it be enough for the people that are offsetting it, that are probably saying, hey, they're losing the license, I'm diving out right now? That's a question to be asked in the future. But we did see this week some page punchers. We saw them before. Now we saw them in images. We saw Supergirl, we saw Superman, we saw Starman, and we saw Damage Case, or just Damage, I guess. I'm thinking Motorhead Damage Case. No, just Damage by himself. An interesting 4-pack, or 4 page punchers, more like it. Should be probably hitting the Jay's Toys and Games in the next month or so. So I would assume we'll get those. So those look pretty good. We also saw a lot of Amazon stuff. We saw the gold label Nightmare Nightfall Batman Azrael repainted. Once again, got to get the most out of your molds. We saw that. That's another thing I'll think we'll see a lot more of in the future. And speaking of that, we saw a Jokerized metal Batman. A very cool Batman, of course, from the DC metal. Now we got a Jokerized version of that one. I regret going down that Joker rabbit hole. Yes, I regret it, Todd McFarlane. I wish I didn't buy those. I feel like I'm in too deep now to quit, but I don't even really like those Joker ones anymore. I thought I liked them. I thought they looked cool all together, but now I'm just like, why do I have this? What is this? This is a make-believe is what this is. But Todd, you win again with those toes. You just transfix me and hypnotize me with those toes right in my face. So we got that one coming. We also saw Todd. He has a little Todd show, the McFarlane Toy Show this week, of course. A great idea. I love that idea, their YouTube show. They did officially show off Dr. Fate and Two-Face, and I mentioned it, I think, in this video. I unboxed the platinum versions of those that I found in the wilds of Wisconsin last week. I unboxed those on Kyle Peterson 2.0. Probably the best performing video ever on Kyle Peterson 2.0. If you haven't subscribed to that channel, man, you're missing out on all kinds of comedy. A lot of Todd McFarlane, a lot of Mark Summers. A lot going on over there every single day. But we did unbox those this week, and we did see those at the toy show. We also saw Batman Killer Croc 2-pack coming to Target. Had a lot of those 2-packs at Target over the last year or so. That is going to be the next one there. We also saw, was it Jeremy Irons as Alfred? It is what it is. It's a guy in a suit, kind of is what it is. So I don't think that's going to be for everybody. And the one I'm very excited about, and I feel like I've had enough Batman, but this one definitely has my interest. It is Cowboy Batman. Cowboy Kyle and Cowboy Batman. We're going to ride off into the sunset on our horse. Yes, horse. We're not taking 2 horses. We're taking 1, and I'm holding on for dear life. That's what it's going to be. But we did see that one as well. Sign me up for Cowboy Batman. That's the one that excited me the most this week, Todd McFarlane. So there it is. A short and sweet toy news of the week. But now we got to get down to it. We got to get down to the album of the week. All right, time for Album of the Week. And Album of the Week this week, we're going way back to 1979. We're going to the new wave of British heavy metal. Of course, one of my absolute favorite genres of heavy metal. I love new wave British heavy metal. I love new wave of traditional heavy metal. I love thrash metal. Those are my top 3 favorites of metal. And a lot of people don't remember a lot of new wave British heavy metal. And the fun thing about that is there were so many bands, and there was maybe 1 album or just 2 albums from them. And then, of course, you have the Def Leppards. You got them of the bands, of course. You got the Iron Maidens. You got some of the big ones. But a lot of them, 1 and done, or a few albums just kind of under the bubble, continuing on for many years, like bands like Blitzkrieg and Satan, which I absolutely do love. But another band I love a whole lot out there is a band called Vardis. And Vardis is an interesting one, and that's the album of the week. 100 Miles Per Hour, their debut album. But the cool thing about this that has always put them at the top for me, one of my favorites, is it's a live album. There's not very many bands that their first ever album is a live album, but that's what Vardis did. 100 Miles Per Hour is the album title. That is probably my favorite song they do, but it is a very Thin Lizzy, a little bit of boogie metal, a little bit of new wave of British heavy metal, just a mix of everything, but it is an energetic live show, and they are on fire for that album. Of course, had a few albums after that, broke up as many new wave British heavy metal bands did for many, many years, then got back together like we saw many new wave British heavy metal bands do, and had a few albums there. Still good, not perfect. Of course, members come, members go, as usually these things happen, especially in this genre of heavy metal. But nothing matches the electricity of 100 Miles Per Hour. A fun album. A fun album to cruise on the interstate too, for sure. And I was listening to that as I was driving to Sioux City, Iowa this week. Oh, nothing like Vardis in Sioux City, Iowa. Let me tell you. But that is the album of the week this week. But what is your album of the week? Let me know in the comments down below. What were you rocking and rolling, strolling to? Let me know in the comments down below. And of course, don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. 5 giveaways is so close, but yet so far. But make sure you do subscribe to the channel. And we are going to have a celebratory video at the end of the month. So stay tuned for that. Like I said, a big announcements. Yes. And then, of course, special guests and all kinds of fun stuff as we look back at 5 years of this YouTube channel. A lot going on, a lot longer hair as well, as we do know as well. So a lot going on. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel. Check out the Patreon for the giveaway. Stay tuned for more giveaways. And once again, Jay's thanks to them for donating a graveyard skeleton to give away on the channel as well. Check out Pro Wrestling Tees. Don't forget them. Search Kyle Peterson. Thanks to everybody that bought a shirt over the last couple of weeks, or the last week. They had the big sale going on. Shout out to you guys out there. Sir Paul64 on the X, _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, Instagram, and of course, TikTok. Don't forget TikTok as well. So there it is, another week of toy news. You know what I'm doing? I'm rocking and rolling, strutting and strolling my way into another weekend.
Well, are we gonna dance or are we gonna play?